What's up, pretty gang? It's your favorite nail tech Peaches, back with another video. Today we are going to be going over this really crispy, smooth looking ombre. It is a nude and clear ombre. It looks extremely simple, but let me tell you, this does require a certain amount of skill and technique to be able to blend something into nothing. So before we go ahead and get started, I want to make sure you guys check the description below underneath the title for all of my coupon codes, my Amazon storefront, and make sure you guys are following me on social media. Subscribe if you haven't, as well as turn the notifications on. I also have the option for you guys to join my channel, become a pretty young thing, for those who want extra mentorship and some exclusive videos and in-depth tutorials, etc. So we are using Nude Panther today. I did talk to you guys a little bit about how Nude Panther is a very inclusive color for all skin tones, all undertones. Don't matter who you are, Nude Panther is gonna work in some sort of way. Okay, that is a not polished color, because you already know if it's not polished, it's not nothing. Young nails for the liquid and the protein bond, which is primer for those of you who don't know. And my brush size is a size 20, and I will say my brush is not the cleanest in this video, so it is gonna make me work even wetter than what I would like. But keep in mind, you will need to work a little wetter than what you're normally used to for this look. Okay, so first thing is first, we're gonna do this like it's a regular ombre, except we don't have to lay down a tip color. You don't have to use clear tips. It does enhance the clearness of the look, but you can use a natural tip if either, number one, you're an extreme beginner and you need a little bit of extra help that will give to your look to hide some imperfections while you're learning, or number two, if you don't have any clear tips, it's fine. So as you can see, we're laying the bead down, right? We're tucking into the cuticles, and we're gonna swipe the extra product just as normal. This is the start, and this is just like normal, like I'm saying. Now, where it gets not like normal is the fact that the next bead is going to lay down. We're gonna lay the next bead exactly where we left off with that blend, because we want the most opacity to pretty much cover the natural nail, just that area, and then it's going to immediately reduce to 50% opacity, or you can say 50% translucency, I guess, but opacity is really the right word. So you can see a small bead, and we're going to immediately swipe it down, and boom, that's going to make our blend into clear. Now, the problem that a lot of people have when trying to blend something into nothing, essentially, right, the color, is the fact that they are looking at ombres as 50-50 still. Now, when you try and think 50-50 and you're thinking this has to blend halfway down, you're gonna end up having to drag that blend further down, closer to the tip, right? And what that's gonna do is take away from the complete translucency of the tip. So you will have way too much drag down, and you're not going to realize it because the tip is clear, but once you go to top coat, you're going to see that fallout, and unfortunately it kind of takes away from the look. So once again, we're letting our bead set for a second, and we're going to immediately swipe down, right? Do you see the area in which we are focusing our opacity, which is going to be the natural nail area, but it will start to blend out as soon as we get past the free edge, right? And once again, I talked to you guys about that 80-20 or that 70-30 blend. You can see this blend, the main part of this blend is pretty much only like 30% of the nail, and we have to manage how far down we are actually dragging the color. So you can see I felt like it was dragged too far down, so I kind of pushed it back up a little bit, and I'm gonna go ahead and blend down more with that opacity. And at this point, I'll need to let this dry down some, right? And this is what's different about clear ombres versus colored tip ombres, is the fact that we'll need to go back and forth between a couple nails at a time to get our best result. Because if you didn't know, blending wet product on a wet product honestly leaves you with zero. Okay, it swipes away the product because the monomer is just reacting what was already in the process of drying, and it just doesn't polymerize as quickly as you would need. So you can see now that the pinky is a little bit drier, I can go ahead and I can adjust certain areas like I need, because we want this to be a smooth and even blend. And bam, you can see I'm pretty much happy with that. I'll be capping that in a second, and you can kind of see I'm taking my brush and pushing up any product that I feel like is taking away from that tip color. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do the same with this, and you can see how smoothly that blended. Now, normally with an ombre, you're not going to put the product exactly where the last bead left off. You'll probably put it a little bit higher so that way you can hide some of the tip color and blend down more, but there's nothing here. So we do have to pick up exactly where we left off, or you will be seeing a lot of clear in the background, which is what we don't want. So now that I'm going to go ahead and cap, I've already built the apex with colors. You guys know that's how I like to do my ombres. Saves time, and I don't know, everybody doesn't like to be capping the whole nail all the time. And as long as you can bring it down smoothly and keep your structure, you're good to go. All right. So I did mention this takes a certain amount of skill and technique, although it does look simple. And you can see already we have used the technique of swiping and being able to lightly use our brush. I'm noticing a lot of people don't know the difference between like a tap, a pat, a pull, a swipe. Those type of things you will need to know with your brush. See which do you use, okay? Backpedaling, or how I kind of just did back brushing. Those are all skills that you will need because you will be using them some point in your nail career, okay? Because they are good to know, because if you make a mistake or something, you need to know, like, okay, how can I get rid of this product? Or how can I add product without adding it to other areas and things like that. So you can see I'm continuously adding, I'm back brushing, and then I'm pulling it down because I just felt like that area needed a little work. And then I'm making sure that it doesn't get pulled down too far. So overall, right, the area where it's pretty opaque is way further at the top. And by the time that I'm done blending, it's gonna look correct, basically. So right now it may look like, okay, but you said it was like 80-20 or 70-30 blend. This looks like it's way far down. The thing about it is you have to account that when we put it on top coat, it's not going to look extremely dragged down. Like, you have to blend into clear, like you're anticipating what will this look like with top coat. So the best way to figure that out is to go ahead and wet your brush and just kind of drag it over the nail to see what it will look like wet. For those who are kind of struggling or have a little bit of fear of like, oh, what if I'm not doing it right, you know? So now for this nail, I brought down a little bit too much product right away, and that's because just the way my bead was setting up, I dragged down a little bit too much. So you're gonna see me adjusting that and kind of pushing some of that product up right here, right? And that is just to expose some of the to like pretty much give it a little bit less color because it's too opaque in an area. But I pushed it up, and then I'm taking what's left, well, not taking what's left, but I'm taking a bead and gently brushing it down. So you see how I just did that, right? I kind of wet it up a little bit just to see like what needs work and what does not. You have to just keep in mind when you put clear on, that is also going to enhance your ombre. I don't know why when you cap, it kind of makes your ombre look a little bit better. But essentially, yes, right now this does look like this nude is overtaking like 60% of the nail, but it's not. You have to look at not exactly at where the blend is coming down, because we just want to brush down the color past a little bit because it's blending into clear. So we do need like a little bit of a hazy area, but it will still look clear. Like most of this is gonna still look translucent. It's just gonna look less clear than the tip. So you have to think about it like that. So with this now, we're pretty much done. And you can see as I'm putting the layer of clear on top, you can see that, okay, this ombre is actually looking pretty good, right? So you'll be able to tell when you kind of hit that sweet spot of, hey, this is blended. You guys, I'm so sorry. I recorded this voiceover last night at like midnight, and I've just done it like 3 times this morning. So I'm actually tired. Like, I'm tired. So as we're gonna pull our clear down, I highly suggest that you get in the habit of when you encapsulate to be able to pull down in like an evil child. Ugh, please, even layer. It's gonna help with your structure and things like that, and just the overall look. So that way, when you go ahead and file and shape, there's less lumps and bumps and things like that. My clear, it came down a little bit too much at the tip, because again, just, I don't know, the way my brush is carrying the liquid, it's making stuff a little more liquidy than I would like, but you know, I'm not tripping. rolled with the punches. I was very excited about this look because I actually used to like doing clear ombres when I first started doing nails. Even though I did not like doing ombres, I just felt like the look of the clear is just so pretty with nude. Dang, my tea isn't even hecka hot no more. But yeah, but I didn't really like color ombres because it was really hard. So if you're a beginner, you know, get comfortable with this and you can do anything. But then also, like I said, this is not really the most easiest thing to do either. So it's kind of backwards. Okay, but you can see how I brushed down and wet it with clear to see like, okay, what am I working with? Once you wet it with clear, once you wet it down, you will be able to see exactly how it's looking. So like I said, although it looks like the nude is dragged down quite a bit, if you look at the nails that are already capped, that nude coloring does not stay looking so opaque where we've dragged it down, which is what we want. All right, so again, we're making our apex area. Now this bead got out of control. It got so messy. I was just like, no, this is so irritating. But you guys, I'm sorry, my brain just kind of died. I'm like really tired actually. So yeah, here we go, doing the same steps over and over. You want to make sure you tuck those cuticles. Now there is quite a bit of execution needed involved. If your cuticle area is really not too nice, it's going to show up. If your blend is not nice, it's going to show up. There's a lot of things here. You need to make sure that your shape is in check. You need to make sure that your what is that called, structure, like this is a very technical looking thing, you know what I'm saying? So as I'm doing this, right, you can kind of see I'm pushing up the product because I want to make sure the tip still stays clear. And in doing that, you can see that the product that I pushed up, like, yeah, it's nude, but also it kind of is just like a see-through area. So it's just providing a hazy area before we get to the clear, because if you don't have that and you go from straight up like nude to, how do I explain this? If it's too opaque through the whole nail, it's not gonna look right. So you're gonna have to play back and forth, like I said, between finger to finger until you get the right look that you're going for. It's good to have multiple fingers going at different rates because then you're gonna always have a guide. So if you struggle with regular ombres, I suggest this type of method. It does take a little bit longer, but if you're like seriously struggling with just doing typical standard like nude and white, pink and white ombres, I don't know, nude and color ombres, whatever, this technique will help you to be able to get a more consistent and like concise result, because I understand it is difficult trying to get that perfect blend, which is why I didn't like ombre for a long time. But you know what happened? I got an influx of customers who all wanted freaking ombre, and I had to suck it up, and that's what forced me to get good at it. All right, I had to keep going even though I sucked. So with this stuff, you can see I put way too much product. Look at what's dragging down. At this point, it's like way too opaque in the area where I don't want it to be opaque, because typically it would be near the free edge you can start to kind of see through. I try to push the product up, as you saw, and I might try and do it again, but realistically I pretty much just had to, yeah, see, push it up some, and it was still too opaque, but it helped a little bit. And then I took the product and I dragged it down. Well, I took another bead, a new bead, and I just pretty much placed it and swiped it down, because I was like, dang, what the heck. But you know, it still ended up fine. But you can see that everything on this stuff is way too wet. I'm trying to adjust, I'm trying to make up for stuff, and all it's doing is swiping the product so far down that it's not giving the look that I want, and it's not going to blend where I need it to blend. All right, so take a break. If you're getting super frustrated, it's probably because once you start working wet on top of wet on top of wet, not only does it frustrate you in your mind and you think like, I can't do it, oh my gosh. No, let it dry up a little bit so you can see what's going on, and then go back in. Like, focus on a different thing for a second, and then go back in, and I bet you'll get a little bit further than where you were getting before. All right, but yeah, this is pretty much how you do this type of look. I do not like doing color into clear, as you know, blues, purples, things like that. I've had to do it on clients before. I'm gonna be honest. I've had to blend like this color pink into clear. There are certain things that just don't blend well into clear, and so I do give my clients that heads up, like, hey, just to let you know, this color is pretty bright, which is not gonna give me a good like window of translucence that I need. See, like this area that I'm working on, that area is what's not gonna blend too well. And because it's clear, it's not like you can take a clear bead and swipe back up like how you can with, like, you know, nude and color, how you can swipe up and like play with the two colors to get a nice blend. You can't do that with clear. So some colors just will not blend very nicely. This looks best with natural colors. Obviously there's clients that are gonna want, you know, in the winter time they want like blue and white and different things like that, and it is pretty much a pain in the ass, but it can be somewhat achieved. Black and clear, oh my gosh, I would probably pass out. Black is already hard to ombre with in general, but you know what I'm saying, like you can accomplish those type of things as long as you have the right technique, skill, and availability, girl. Ability. But just know some colors don't blend well. Give your clients the heads up and let them choose. Maybe start with one finger, and so you can let them know, like, you know what, I really don't think this is gonna work, or hey, I do think this is gonna work. Just a good rule of thumb, because people, you know, they be trying it, they be seeing stuff on Instagram, and that's perfectly fine, you know. But sometimes, like, wow, this is not gonna blend. Like, you know, sometimes you just already know, and it's like, well, we gotta go ahead anyway. Like, because I'm sorry, I slept with the heater on all night, kind of like congested my nose. You know, I'm kind of just waking up. It's not even 8 a.m. by the way, so I'm just tired and yawning. I apologize, but you would just want to make sure that everything is nice and crisp and clean looking, and then you'll pretty much be good to go. Now, before this video ends, first of all, I want to let you know you need to buff the heck out of these, so that way when you top coat, you don't see too many inconsistencies as far as scratches and marks and things like that, okay? But before we end out this video, I want to let you guys know that I will be uploading more content in relation to my own life, in a way, like still nail tech related, but like people like to know, what do I do when I'm not working? What do I do with this? What do I do with that? And as I've had time to think on that, I'm getting ready to travel for my birthday in March and things like that, and so I will have some segments in relation to my like recreational time, I guess you can call it, or my leisure time. So I feel like that'll be a pretty nice addition to the channel here and there. I do have, you know, vlogs and stuff like that, so I pretty much want to upkeep that type of content and maybe make those videos a little bit nicer, so it's not just, you know, a straight up vlog every single time. But I will be having some nice members only content coming in March for my birthday, because I'm gonna try and get a lot of content. So if you only want to become a member for the month of March, I completely understand. If you just want to be nosy and see what went down for my birthday, I'm gonna be obviously posting stuff for everybody to see. But if you become a pretty young thing, along with the regular perks, you know, mentoring, video chats, what else, live streams, just different things like that, I will be posting some behind the scenes content, or some content that I feel like YouTube maybe won't monetize. So if nothing else, even if only for the month of March, I highly suggest that you become a member, just so you can see those type of things, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna leave that there for you guys to kind of ponder over. Okay, let me stop. Anyway, so we are in the last finger, and you can see I'm filing my life away. I am working hard to keep that structure, and I apologize, you guys, I'm just so tired. I have a full day. I'm so glad I don't have to be at work till almost 2 tomorrow. So I hope this video pretty much helped you guys out with this type of look. You won't know the exact final result until they wash their hands, and you can really see, like, oh, what's going on. Now you can see, even though that product was dragged down to a certain extent, and it looked like, oh, is it gonna be too far down or not? Watch when I put top coat on. And I wanted to specifically show you guys this clip, because look, it's pretty seamless of a blend. You see what I'm saying? So even though it seemed like, oh well, you dragged that down far, when you cap it and when you are gonna put the polish over, it does not look like it's, come on, why are you gonna interrupt me? It doesn't look like it's down like that far. It's pretty much just a hazy area between the nude and the clear. So do not get wrapped up in having that really opaque look the whole way down, because honestly, that's kind of gonna ruin the look. You really want to look at it as like, hey, I've got opaque up here, I've got clear down here. How can I make it a little hazy in between so that way it looks blended? So anything that's under the nails, I went back under and I kind of grabbed some of that. It's from the nail tip from filing, so don't worry about that, it'll come right off. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really appreciate you guys watching my videos. We are so close to 5,000 subscribers. I can't believe it, because I was trying so hard to hit 5,000 by New Year's, and apparently we'll hit 5,000 in February, I'm hoping, unless the last couple people just like, I'm not gonna subscribe, but that's okay. Anyways, as usual, I will see you guys in the next video.